Good morning, everyone. I just want to make sure everyone can hear me. I know I tested my microphone before, but I just like to make sure everyone can hear me. And that's the first thing. If you can just put a little yes inside the comments, then I will be able to know whether you can hear what I'm saying or not, or you just see my lips moving and nothing is happening. Good morning, and yes. Oh, fantastic. I'm glad to hear that. So welcome, Ledley. I'm so glad that you're here. Tika is not here this morning. I don't know where she ended up, but I know she's a busy girl, so she's not here this morning. Hopefully she will pop in a little later when she's available. Let's see. Good morning to Stephanie, North Carolina, Mary from Pittsburgh, Rita from sunny Erie, Pennsylvania, Joanna from Long Island, Melinda from North Carolina, and Pam is from Enumclaw, Washington. Oh, fantastic. Doris from Florida, Janine from North Carolina, lots of people from North Carolina, and Rokyo, good morning. And Melinda, yes. Okay, I'm just going to wait for a few more people to show up there. Everybody's dribbling in. And the weather, I've been watching the news, and apparently there's a lot of storms coming up through, I guess, in the Kansas area and on the East Coast with some tornadoes. I saw some flooding stuff, so hopefully all of you are safe. It has not affected you too much. In Canada, they've got all the wildfires in the northern part, but there's some wildfires down in the northern part of the States as well, so all that smoke and accumulation, imagine in the Chicago area and everywhere around that you're getting a lot of smoke. So just be careful, stay safe. That's the big goal behind all of this. So there's still a few more people coming in. Now, you have to remember, I'm operating the controls on my own, so please bear with me. And I just want to make sure that I get everything correct. I got the timer in there, so I'm really happy about that. Melinda, Lolis, Joanna, Barbara, good morning from Southern California. Linda from Adrian, and Joyce. Oh, good morning, Joyce. And Julietta, good morning. Just glad to see everybody here. Now, our topic today, of course, is using stamps and die cuts, and I tend to lead more towards the digital stuff rather than the physical stuff. All of my physical dies and stamps, Tika has them at her office in her home and has been playing around with them, but we find we like the digital ones much better because I can control it. And then I can color it. If I want to draw it on a card, I can draw it in a color and then color it in later myself. Or, of course, you can use contour to color it all in, but then you would have to do a print then cut. Hi, Karen from Ontario. So I'll just give it a second or two more here, and then I'll go through the first part of my slide deck. But just before we get going, is anyone here brand new to our webinars? Sanet from South Africa, welcome. That's a long way away. You're just like Ledley. Ledley's from the Philippines, and I'm surprised that she's here, but she's always here. And remember, Ledley can answer a lot of the questions that will come into the comment area. Now, because it's just Ledley and myself this morning, Ledley, if you don't mind trying to answer a few things if you can, because I want to make sure I see everything that's in there, and it's not likely I will because I'm talking away at the same time. So that would be great. Hey, Tiffany, you made it. I hope you're not affected by any floods or tornadoes right now, because I heard that the tornado corridor is opening up and it's the first day of hurricane season. I don't know about all those hurricanes. And I know, of course, in the California area, you're dealing with earthquakes, but earthquakes are absolutely nothing compared to wind damage from what I can see. Thank you, Ledley. So, anyone have any questions before we get started? Looks like I have everyone that has been here before. I don't see anybody saying yes that they are brand new. So I'm just going to go through the deck here. I'm going to leave my face up on the screen for now. And of course, inside here, I just want to make sure you've connected. If you have not become part of our YouTube channel, and of course, you get a chance to subscribe, please do so, because we have now hit 11,000 subscribers. I am so excited about it. So just be part of it. Make sure you turn the little bell on, because quite often there are events that you may not be aware of, or of course, new videos. We put a new video up each week, plus what we do on the webinars under the live. And I have it in my head. I want to add more to that, but I haven't done it yet. So that is my fault. And of course, we all learn from each other, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I love the posting in Facebook, and Ledley does a fantastic job of posting in there every day. So there's always something to look at when you're in there. Pinterest, we don't post that often. Instagram, we're there daily. And of course, our blog, betsmakes.com. Remember, we've got over 250 projects in there for you, and they're all free to take. You just read them through, and just let you know, on the blog, you will see ads on the blog, because that's our free portion. Anytime we give something for free, we allow Google to place their ads. And sometimes it's very annoying. And I've had a couple people email me, can you just send me a copy of the blog article without the ads? Well, we can't do that, unfortunately. But we do have a lot of stuff. And you will get that Tuesday Tips newsletter, of course. And that will allow you to take a look at some of the newer stuff that we've put in there. Awesome subscriber number. Yeah, I was really excited to hit 11,000. It's been a lot of work. Tika and I have been doing this this is almost 6 years now. So we're finally there. Sheila, you're finally here, able to post. Don't know why I couldn't earlier. Okay, got it. Great. So if you've got questions about digital stamps or die cuts, Ledley says, put the questions right in the comments, and Ledley will take care of you. She does a lot of this. She has her own craft store in the Philippines. So this is absolutely awesome. And Linda Bishop from Missouri, of course. I'm glad to see you're here as well. So our numbers are crawling. And if you haven't had a chance, go to our Ko-fi shop. You know, it's like a coffee shop. I guess that's what they want us to call it, coffee instead of Ko-fi, but I call it Ko-fi. All right. And of course, at the end, I'm going to have another treat for you at the presentation. So if you can, please stay to the end. Just remember, we do post the replay on our CEW page. That's the page you get to come into here. And if you're watching right on YouTube, the replay's there almost instantly. And I know we're pushing everybody to watch it on YouTube, so you're already there. And this is the book that we have for you today. And I'll get it close to the camera, using digital stamps and dies. And it's this book is a little thinner than what I'm used to. And I think I made this one about 14 pages, but it's still, pretty meaty for what you want to do. So just stay to the end and you will get that. Now, since everybody here seems to be a regular person that comes up on the screen, I am not going to read through this. You already know who I am and who Tika is. And I also want to add Ledley to this. She is just an amazing person, and she knows a lot about crafting. So remember, any questions you have, put them in the comments, and Ledley will take care of them the best she can, and she will ping me if she cannot. So that is the important part. All right, I'm going to skip over that one. I just want to get a quick overview of what's ahead for all of us. These are all the ones we've had in the past. We've done sublimation, how to use ephemera, layering die cuts, open-ended shapes, Inkscape, Canva, and today is using stamps and die cuts. Next week, we have our Into Summer workshop, and that's on Friday. And we sent out a test email yesterday that you all should have received. And that is the link for you to go and grab your free seat. Now, if you are a paid member of our membership, you automatically get access, the all access pass, but we will let you know the 24 hours ahead of time so you can participate in the discussions. So if you're a member, you will not have received that email, but the rest of you would have. Take advantage of it now. It's nice and early to get in there and grab your free seat. So that's on the 13th. You will also get an email. You might have it already today, because June 18th to 20th, there is an SVG workshop with Jamila Payne. And I'm giving a presentation there, and it's sort of, well, it's not sort of, it is making tags and how to do it in Illustrator. So if you were curious about Illustrator, this is the place to go. There's lots of people in there showing you how to do SVGs in many different ways. It's just an absolutely fabulous looking workshop. And you will have got the notice for that today. The YouTube address didn't work for me. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, Ledley posted it. All right, so that is what is coming up. Everything other than webinars. I don't know what's happening with your email, Tiffany, because they show us as sent from us. It's not bouncing, and it's not coming back to us like we're blocked, but something in your email server is not allowing you to receive our emails, which is absolutely strange. So maybe just getting on our list under another name or another email will help. Did you do that already? I'm sorry, this is a little problem solving. Sometimes we have, it's what we call technical issues that are not necessarily on our end. I've even contacted Google. Isn't that interesting? So let's keep working on it, and hopefully that we'll be able to get that resolved for you. It should work for me. Okay, so this is what is ahead. Make sure that you register for your free tickets for both June 13th and June 18th. It will be well worth your time, even if you can't go right away on the day. Remember, everything is 24 hours. Do you still send the Saturday newsletter? Yes, I've not received that for a while. Okay, Joyce. Can you send an email to admin@betsmakes.com? I'll just put it on the screen for you. And Joyce, if you send an email there and explain what you're having problem with, I'll reply to your email to see whether we can get that to you. And hopefully we'll be able to connect in some way and find out what's going on with your account as well. We like to problem solve with it. Even though there's quite a few of us on the mailing list, there's like a small group of people that always come to everything, and we like to make sure that you are well looked after. Okay, first timer here from Illinois. Welcome, Jen. Fantastic. If you don't know who I am, I'm Bette from Bette's Makes, and I'm a former university professor. My daughter Tika is, I call her a lifetime crafter, but she's a professional crafter. She is a professional knitter as well. And she's not here right now. And you'll see Ledley on here, and she is a crafting professional as well. And she will help with any questions that you have right here in the comments. So make sure you become vocal, ask your questions, because we are going to have a lot of fun with this one today. So that's a quick view of what's ahead today. Let's go back over here. So this is what I have planned for you, sort of explaining dies and stamps. People wonder, like, what the heck are these things? And then we're going to have some design space ideas. I've got a number of techniques I want to show you, or at least explain them to you. And I'm going to talk about coloring and embellishment and some project ideas. So what I'm going to do here, let's see if I can do this correctly. Nope, of course not. I have to play around here. Ah, this is too funny. Guess I'm going to go back here. If I can find a way to mess it up on everybody, I will. Let's go here. There we go. I may not get my face back, but at least we'll have this stuff up on the screen. Okay, Rich, and they tried a few things. Okay, what is happening? It's been going on for months. Okay, Jean, hello from Rockford. Wow, fantastic. So the first thing I want to do is just talk a little bit about stamps and die cuts, because digital stamps are what we call the black and white line drawings or illustrations provided in digital formats like PNG or JPEG files. So a digital stamp is usually a PNG or a JPEG. They're similar to the traditional rubber stamps, but are printed from a computer, allowing you to scale them, layer them, whereas a physical die cut stamp, of course, you are restricted to what you get in the stamp. If you want bigger ones, you have to buy another stamp. Whereas with a digital one, we're going to be able to scale it, and we can layer it, and we can customize it, we can color it, and we can use it everywhere. We can use it in card making, scrapbooking, journaling, anything that you want to have on anywhere. So basically, when you're using a digital stamp, say on a greeting card, you choose the digital stamp, you open it up, resize it to what you want. Generally, you can print it or have it draw right on your card. And that is, of course, important part of it. When you print it on the card, you are simply putting the pen into your machine and have it draw right on there. And then you can color it in by hand later. And of course, you can fussy cut it. You can attach it to the front of anything or the back or the inside. And of course, you can have digital stamps that are sentiments. And of course, those sentiments are just greetings. And I'll show you how to make all of those as well. And then, of course, you want to know the difference now, because explaining what a die is a little different. A digital die cut are graphic files, and they are most often the SVG. So remember, the die cuts are SVGs, the stamps are PNGs or JPEGs. And they're made to be cut by electronic cutting machines because they're digital, whereas the physical ones, you had to have all these dies in place, a big stack of them, go find what you were looking for, and then roll it through things like a Sizzix machine. So an example maybe for this might be making a layered die cut embellishment. You can download those die cuts, resize them to what you want. If they're in layers, you can ungroup them, make them different colors, use them on 3 different colors of cardstock. Things like shadow boxes and, of course, the offset tool really help it work. So the big key differences between stamps and die cuts. The digital stamps are usually printed and cut, and the file format is a PNG, whereas the digital die is an SVG. So the digital die is cut, SVG. You can optionally color it, usually through cardstock. You cut it with your Cricut or other machine, and you can resize it, layer it, and cut it. Whereas the digital stamp is usually printed or inked in, which is draw. And you can color it if you wish right in Design Space using contour and different things you can work with. It's usually print then cut if you're doing it that way. It's definitely editable. And of course, all of those different parts and pieces of art are absolutely perfect. So one of the biggest things is organizing. So I'm going to take you over to Design Space here and start a new project. And we're going to take a look at some of the digital dies and things we can do. So I'm just going to have us make a simple card to start. And we're going to make everything from scratch today. I like the rounded corners, but there's a little trick to this. So let's just go through with the rounded corner one. Let me just close this. going to change the color. I'll make it purple. And let's make this one 5 by 5. I have to 5 tab 5. Sorry, I had stuff over top of mine. Now, of course, I have this beautiful 5 by 5 that is one part of what I want. So I am going to position this at 1 and 1, and there's going to be a reason for this, because what I want to do is duplicate this and set it aside. So I'm going to get the nice curves without distorting them. So let me just copy this one and paste one in place. So this is pasted right in place. So I should be able to just move it over. Now what I'm going to do with this one is position this, and this one is going to be at the 6-inch mark and the 1-inch mark. Now you'll see that they are lined up perfectly. Now the reason I do that is because I like these nice rounded corners. And I'm just going to grab this together, and I'm just going to combine. I like to weld my things together. I don't like to unite. I'm not going to take them apart. So now I have this nice card. I've got a nice rounded edge. Now I'll tell you exactly why I did this. And let me just grab that shape again. Just grab the rounded. What if I wanted to take this? I'll just unlock it. And this will be a 10-inch by 5. And if I did that the same way, take a look at those corners. You see how they're not really nice corners? They're stretched out. So by making one, duplicating it, and welding it together, you are going to have a nicer look. So let me just get rid of this ugly little one. All right, now I need, of course, a score line down the center. So let's grab that shape. Let's grab our score line. I need to keep this closed. It gives me some room. And of course, I want this 5 inches. And being the lazy person I am, I just grab these instead of going ahead, and I just align center. And I'm just going to group this for now because we're going to be playing around. So now I have a nice card that we're going to work with. Now, some people say, well, look, you've got the score line going through, but that doesn't matter because it's going to cut out and around, and you're going to have a nice looking little card here. Now on the card, of course, you have a front and a back, and you may want to have your stamps on both sides. It's a little more difficult to do that, but you can make it happen. And I'll show you a little trick for that just in a little bit. But right now we want to get some stamps. So I'm going to just go to my uploads, and you'll see that we've got all kinds of different things in here. I'm just going to view all, and I'm going to my uploaded. Now you're going to have different things that you have in here. So I may want to have circles or different things. Some of these are out of the kits. Maybe I just want a bird. Now you may or may not have a bird. You'll absolutely have to make sure you've got something with an outline. Now, if you don't have an outline and you want a stamp from it, for example, let's just take this teacup. Now I'm going to add it to the canvas. I'm just going to go ahead and view it. So if this is the teacup, it's pretty big. Want to come back over here. Now this is a print then cut, but what if you just simply wanted to use the outline from it? Can we change this? That's the question. So if I go to basic cut here, you'll notice I just get the outline of the teacup. Now I can take this down. Now you're not going to get a lot of detail with this one, but it's just to give you an idea that it's going to come in here. But what happens if I come back here and I just change it to pen? So you'll see that now I can draw that on here. So now I've got this raspberry teacup. So let's remember, that's just taking a design. Now I'm not too keen on the teacup because it has a lot of different things. Now, somebody just asked me here, what happens if you go back to print then cut? It comes back to the regular teacup. And you can use that as a stamp if you want as well. But that's a couple of little things that you can do if you see a shape that you really like. Let's go back to our uploads here and view all. I'm going to go back to my uploaded. So that's one thing you can do with a PNG if it's already colored in. I went back down here. What if I just had a bird here? I'm going to just click my little plus here. I've added it to the canvas. And I'm going to come over here and view it. Now I have, of course, a nice little stamp I can use. And you will notice that Design Space is going to come up with some suggestions for you. So you can come up with all kinds of different birds and things that you can use for a stamp. So that is a real advantage of going through here. So if you don't like the stamp that you've picked, you can pick a different one that's in the set here. Well, I'm just going to close this for now. Now, fairly easy. I'm just going to make a little bird here. Now he is set up as a basic cut right now. So this guy will cut out on whatever you decide. But if you want to stamp him, say, on the back here, you are going to have to come through here and, of course, change it to pen. And it's going to do the outline for you. Now I've left it to black. So what will happen is this will become part of your card. It will do an outline, and then you can go ahead, of course, and then take it with coloring pens, markers, whatever it is, and then you will be able to color that in the way you want. So you could change, the feet to a yellow or whatever you happen to want. So this is just a pen drawing right now. And that can go directly on the card. Now, digital stamps are a lot of fun to play with. So what if I decided I wanted to take this bird? I'm just going to take an alternate copy, and I'm just going to make it a cut again, come back to the basic cut. So what will happen with this, it will simply cut out just like this. It will cut the center out and go ahead and, work with what you have. And that'll make an easy way of using it. Now it's going to cut pretty thin down here. So what I suggest you do is just take a look at your offset here when you're working with these. That's a pretty big offset. I'll just bring it down a bit here. Now that's a smaller offset. It's not going to pick up the cut in the middle. However, I'm just going to apply this. It will, of course, make the bird a little bigger and cut out a little easier. So what I'm going to do with this, so I'm just going to grab this together and I'm going to weld it together. And you can see that I now have a bird that I can play with that will be cut out, and it will be a lot easier. I just won't get the swirl inside. Sometimes when you have some of these cut out, it's going to become an issue. All right, let me just go here and undo a couple of things that we've done here. Now, if you really want to cut these guys out, I would suggest making them a bit bigger. Now with this one, it's a little more difficult because of the small lines that are in between. So you're going to have to hit a fussy cut. Now that's going to be pretty big for a stamp. You can make that a lot smaller, and you will need to work with it a little bit. So any questions about digital stamps? Remember, they're generally PNGs and JPEG files. And let's go over to our images here, and let's just see if I can grab something. I don't necessarily want a bird. Let's go for a flower. So there's lots of these little flowers where you can do some stamps and die cuts. Let's just grab this one for now. Now that's pretty big. Now that is a really nice little stamp thing that you can use. I could make that a little bit smaller. Now you'll notice on this, you have something where you can stamp or color it on. Right now, this is just a basic cut. It's going to cut out on any color you want. But you can change this, of course, to a pen. And then you can stamp that on anywhere you want. And I like to have them draw so I can color things in. So for example, I could take this, I can take a copy of it and, make a few stamps on here. And then you'll notice that there's little circles in between here. You can start to play and make your own little stamp that will go inside of these. So let's go grab a circle. I'm just going to leave it big for now. And of course, that's not my favorite color. And let me just go pinkish here so I can see what I'm doing. Now, with the circle, that will go into the middle. You can do a few little things with it as well. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to make this very large so we can see what I'm doing. I'm going to grab another circle, and I'm just going to leave it black. And I'm just going to make little dots that go through on this. So I'm just going to be making some copies, adding some dots. You know how the center of a flower always has these little parts, especially sunflowers. And let's see, I'll just do a couple more. I'm just holding my Alt key down. Maybe add one or two more. Okay, now I've got all these circles. Look at my layers panel here. This is let's go to the bottom one. Let's grab all these black circles. I'm holding down the Shift key. Make sure I get them all. I start at the bottom, and the reason I start at the bottom, I guess I can show you this. If I start at the bottom, then I know I can grab them all easily because this will jump so you can't see everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine these and weld them. And the last thing I'm going to do here is just grab through this, and I am going to slice this. Now I have my little center that I want, and then I have my little dots over here. I'll just move them out of the way. Now I have a nice little center, and of course I can change that to draw as well. Maybe I should do that now. Let's make it a draw. Leave it black. And let me just grab this. And so you can add these right here, drawing in the same spot. Just go grab that again. Here we go. This one. Okay, I'm going to duplicate it. Mouse wants to go to arrows. Okay, now I can move that. Place that in place. So now you're starting to add to your own cut as well. Let me just duplicate that one more time. Okay, just grab that and push that here. Now these are all just, of course, draw things. So you want to make sure you line them up. I didn't line that one up very nicely. So when you have them, of course, come out, you will be able to then color all of these in. So what I should do with all of this, I'm just going to make sure everything is grouped together for now. That's just so when I move things, they all move together. So now we have all of these. We can add some birds, a teacup. I'm not going to bother with teacup. I'm just going to delete it. And I'm not going to bother with my bird. And I don't need any of these. Let's just clean up the screen a bit. So now we have all these beautiful flowers. These are things that we have made. Now, once you come to the images, now we've come with the flowers. You can also come in here and find, petals if you want. So stems, maybe instead of flower, I type in stem. If you want, you can add some stems to it and have those draw in place as well. And then color those in. So here's a nice one here. And this is simply a PNG file, so I can just add it here. It says basic cut. I'm just going to change it to pen. And there we go. We have, of course, something that's going to fit in behind here. And I'm just going to make it a little looser here so it's not touching the other parts. And there we go. We have a stem that we can put in. And of course, we can color it once it's inside of there. So let me just group this again. This is group, 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 group. But we'll change it in a second. All right. How are we doing with just the stamps so far? We're okay so far? Okay. So now our next little thing, of course, is we have our wonderful card. What if we wanted to put a frame on it? Now, there are lots of different frames that you can grab from here. We have them in our digital kits here. So let me just type in frame. And these are basically die cuts. These should be SVG files, but we'll check this out. Let me take this double frame, for example, here, and contour is popping up, which is perfect. So this is a frame that we can cut out. It will cut all the little pieces and then simply go on top of that. Now, because these are SVG, let me just get rid of this for a second. And let's go back over here. Now I'm going to be able to, of course, adjust this so it comes up to be the frame of the size I want. Now, I like this, except it's not wide enough, so all I need to do is come up here and unlock it. Should be able to extend it out. And that's how you would use a frame in here. Now, that's a funny looking frame, but let's go back to our images here. Let's pick on a different frame where we can start playing around with doing some really unique little things with frames. Now, I don't want to get too fancy with our frames, so let's just grab this one, and I'll shut this. And I will change this frame, and I'll just make it a different color so we can see it. Maybe green would work better. And of course, I want to change the size. I'm going to unlock it. Now, our thing is 5.5, so I'm going to make this 4.5 and 4.5. Now that should fit on our card. Let me just move it over here. That is not too bad. Now I'm going to play a little bit with this one. So let's just take this stuff and I want to just move it out of the way here so we've got room to work. Now, when you're doing die cuts, you're going to get all kinds of things. These will cut out on any kind of material you want. So it's really easy to do, but there's a number of things and a few little techniques that you can use, of course, in order to make these really spectacular. So for this one, for example, I'm going to make a duplicate. I'm just going to hold down the Alt key and it will come in behind. I'm just going to slide it down a little bit, just so you see the edges without an extra bit of cut. Now I'm going to change that color to the darker green. Now, as you can see, you get a really cool effect with this. You get this shadowing. And you can do this right on the card because we made it a little bit smaller. Bring our card over here. I'm just going to group this together for a moment. And I'm going to bring it. Oh, why did it do that? Just because it wants to be ornery. Okay. So when I come on to here, when I go to glue this on my card, just move this up, you're going to get this gorgeous effect. Now, it will depend on what you decide to cut it out of, because these are cut out separately. Now, if you want them to print on here, you can print them this way as an individual piece. I would not recommend doing that because there are so many different things that you can do with this. Now, if I take another copy of it, you can see I'm getting some really cool, interesting effects here. Let me just push this in here just a little bit. But I can see some of the mark lines in behind here. So I'm just going to bring this down. You don't want to see any extra cut lines. Now, if you did 4 of these, as you can see, you can stack them and really get some really cool techniques that you are really going to work with. And it is so easy to do. Now, one of the other things that you might want to think about, of course, is taking some of these frames and then you can heat emboss them as well. So if I decided I wanted a different frame, let's take this one here, for example. I can have this print out on a print then cut with black. Now, what I want to tell you, you must print it out on a laser printer and then use some of the foiling techniques that you have with this. For example, I could put foil over top of it, throw it through the laminator, and then it will laminate. It will then put the gold onto the piece that you're working with. You just have to remember you can't put some of the gold foil over the little marks that it takes in order to push it through, because if you take the black away, it will not register. And then put it through your Cricut and you'll have a beautiful gold colored piece and part. So I have a few techniques that we can work with, and I'm just keeping track of my time here. And of course, if you want to change one of these, let me just take these out of the way for now. I'm just going to move that. I'm going to move that one down. I'm going to take a different image here, because what I want to do is I want to add some stitch lines all around. So I'm going to take this little ticket frame here. Now, it is really cool if you want to add some what I call stitch lines inside here, but it is really difficult to do inside of Design Space because this is a basic cut. I can do an offset and I can do a negative offset with this. Stitch lines. I do a negative offset. Is it working? It's not giving me my negative one. Okay, let's go positive then. Oh, we're getting it on both sides now. Okay, I'm just going to apply that. I'm going to change that color so we can actually see it. So you can absolutely apply an offset. Now, if you want, you can then take this, you can, of course, put it together to make it print then cut. So you're going to get some wonderful little colors with it. But if you wanted to put stitch lines around it, you can't do it readily, but it can be done. So I'm just going to grab this line and I'm going to change from score and I'm going to change it to basic cut. Grab this little guy here. I click away. So that will give a cut. So what you probably want to do here is I'm just going to change the size of this, and maybe that cut is going to be 1/4. I'll just make it 1/4 inch so we can see what's going on here. And what I'm going to do is just going to take this and I am going to come over here and duplicate it. So I've got 1, 2, 3. I'm just going to guess when it gets close to the bottom. There we go. We've got all of those pieces. Let me just, I didn't group that. Control Z. Let me just take those 2 pieces. Let's group them. And I'm just going to move it out of the way. Now these are little stitch lines. So what I want to do is take all of these and I'm going to align them to the left. And I'm going to group them at this point. And then I'm going to bring this back up here. So as you can see, you can get these little cut lines. Now I'm not going to be able to do the curves so easily, but I can take these little cut lines, like little stitch lines. I'm going to hold down my Alt here, and no, it wants to take that one. I want this one. Keep getting, okay. Instead of duplicating it that way, I'm just going to click on it. So maybe I have to come up here. It's in the group, that's why. Okay, let me ungroup this. I should be able to get, no, it's the inside. I want my stitch lines. Okay, let me just grab this out of the way. I've got 3 copies of it now. All right, I want to duplicate this. So one goes on the other side. I grouped it, ungrouped it. No, group it. click on it. There we go. So now I'm going to have one for this side. And I'm going to duplicate it once again, but this time I am going to, let me shut this so we can see what we're doing. And I'm going to rotate this 90 degrees. If I got this little group here, okay. Just grab this guy. I want to group just this. Okay, let me group it. And I'm going to take it and put it up here. And I'm going to arrange it and send it to the back. That way it won't get in my way. All right, I'm inside here now. All right. There's always challenges, right? Okay, I've got this one. I can move this one over here. And I'm doing this all in Design Space. Now for this one, I can simply put it up here. And then I can grab a duplicate of it. Let me just put it down right about here. Grab a copy of it and place it here. I'm going to select both of these. Move my key down, and then I'm going to put them down here. All right, let's group all of this. Let's not lose what we were doing. There we go. Okay, I'm going to group it. All right, let me get rid of these extra frames that I don't. Oh, it really went kablooey on me. It went way down to the bottom. I love Design Space, but sometimes it is frustrating. All right, and I seems to have lost one of my set here. So let me go click, shift, click. Hold my Alt key down. Pull this down here. Now I've got my wonderful little stitch lines. The only thing is missing is the corners, but it still has a nice effect. Let me group this to be on the safe side. Now you can size this to whatever you want. So that's just a little technique that you can play with. So we've got several here. We have, of course, shadowing that you can play with. You can play with, of course, all of these little items. Now, remember, these are SVGs, so they can cut out. So anything that's an SVG basically is a die cut. So you can die cut anything. So if we go back here to our images and I type in floral, I can come up with something like this. I'm not too sure if this is an SVG or not. It seems to be. So I can cut those out, but I can use the same kind of techniques. I can cut this out. It would be a little frame that I can add. And of course, now my tabletop is really messy. Let me go back over here. This is an SVG, of course, and maybe you want to have something cut out in the corner. Let me just bring this down. For example, you may decide you want to have this one cut out. Remember, you can also slice these items out of your card. Now, I know this is all grouped up. So let me just, let's make another square and I'll show you exactly what I mean. I'm going to take this shape. I'm going to take this one and I'm going to make it 5 by 5. I am going to change that color. Let's make it a light green so you can see what the mess I'm making on my desk here. I'm going to move this card out of the way over there. So the other thing you can do with your dies, and I'm going to have to arrange that, bring it to the front. And you can, of course, emboss this right on here as well, or deboss. But you can do another really cool thing. You can grab those, and of course, you can slice it out. I still keep my die cut here, and I have another one that I can cut out. And now you've got a nice little part of your card where it's cut right out. And these can be cut out separately, maybe a different color. You can place it beside it. You can make it smaller, or do whatever you need to do with it. So it's just really interesting, all the different things that you can do with your material. All right. So as time is eluding us right now, of course, we went through explaining the dies and stamps. We had the design space ideas, different techniques you can play with. And of course, if you cut any of those out, you can go ahead and color and embellish with them. And Zebra Pen is kind enough to give us a lot of our supplies. And I love using their brush pen sets with the Zebra Pen. So those are a lot of the ways that you can do that. Now, hopefully, I just did a card that was through this, and I'm just going to flip through my book here and give you an idea. I think we put 3 different projects in here. We did a butterfly gatefold card, a floral shadow box is another kind of project, and then, of course, our digital stamp pop-up tags. So pop-up tags are a lot of fun to do as well. We added something to this book, and it was called Troubleshooting and Common Issues. And of course, we have a bunch of practice projects at the end as well. And I know you're going to love this little book. So let me just see if I can get my face back on here, because I'm not too sure which one it was. And that is not the one. Is it this? I got it. Fantastic. Yeah, rewatch. It'll be sort of instant, because on YouTube, it posts instantly. And of course, I have an email going out with the replay, and that's on the webinar page as well. So I've got the book in front of me here, and we'll get to that in just a second. Just replay anytime. There's most of the teaching. So I hope you really enjoyed, or at least got something out of it. And adding the stitch marks is a lot of fun. On the curve, it's really complicated, but you can do it because you're taking part of a circle and you're making little pieces that are going to match it. And I think I do have a video on YouTube showing you how to do that. So if you want to do that, go to our YouTube channel. And of course, take a look at a lot of the videos we have there as well. I was in awe the other day. I realized I've got over 550 videos on there. And I'm going, wow, I didn't realize I was that prolific. I just love doing what we're doing here. So that was explaining all of the things that we have. Watch the replay. Really important to watch it, because it'll give you an idea of what we were doing with it. So just a reminder, today we did using stamps and die cuts. And next Friday is our Into Summer workshop. So on June 13th, you will get a notification of it. And I think I have a banner here. Yes, I do. If you simply go to betsmakes.com, June-workshop, it should take you to the registration page. And it's well worth going there for that. And then, of course, on June 18th to 20th is the SVG workshop with Jamila. And I'm participating in that, teaching a little bit about Illustrator and making tags with Illustrator. Charlene, wow, my head is spinning. Yeah, replays for sure. I know I pack a lot into these. I try to keep it simple enough that you can, repeat what I'm doing. That's why I like to do them a couple of times. Remember, I just used stuff that was in Design Space already. You may have a lot of stuff filed away that you want to use. What if you could use hyphens in a text box? Yes, that should work well. Great idea. I am going to show that on here. If you use hyphens in a text box and curve them for the curved stitches. I would experiment with that and try it. I had never thought of it because I get into my shapes and I never think about the text, but you can do a lot of things with text as well. Will Cricut foil work with the heat and laminator? I tried it. It was sporadic. Let me just tell you that. I just used the Art Deco stuff. But on the other hand, you can do your frame right on the Cricut and tell it that you want it foiled. So you can do it on the Cricut. I just happen to do it with the heat. And of course, if you don't want to do with foil, think about different things like waxes. You could get those nice waxes. You can get those nice paints that go on them. And the other thing you can do, of course, is just cover it with the tacky stuff and then throw your glitter over top of it, and you will get a nice glitter frame as well. Search separate crust. You're the best teacher. You make things so easy. Well, thank you, Stephanie. I really appreciate it. And I always worry that I go into too much detail, but I'm glad that I make it easy enough for you. I guess it's my K to 12 teaching experience where you really have to explain things so people get what you're teaching. What about puff vinyl? I would try that as well. I don't own any puff vinyl. I've never really used it. But you can get really creative. So you could make the top frame out of puff vinyl, and then, of course, your offset shadow layers below out of a different vinyl. So you really get that beautiful effect. Because the puff is so bumpy, you want it as the top layer. There's a lot of things. Fantastic. So I just have a couple of different things. And, of course, the June workshop is one of them. I'm going to come over here. Remember, I'm operating this on my own. And thank you, Ledley. You've saved my bacon because I never looked at the other stuff again. So that was the June workshop. Okay, so this is our digital kits. Right now, May is still up. So if you order in June, you will get a bonus one of the previous month of May. So you've got May and June. And you see all these beautiful little butterflies and different things that are on here. They're just really fantastic. Now, I guess I have to go back here. See, it's me operating this, so I have to take that question off. There we go. See you, Tiffany. Thanks for being here. Okay, so our digital kits, if you don't have them, they're well worth it. Remember, every month you get a different digital kit and a different project, and you'll see the project for June. And I know I have it right behind me because I was the one making it, if I can find it. Oh, it's right here. So we used some different dies. So this is the project from June. It has the butterflies. You can see it on there. And then, of course, on the inside, we've done quite a few things with the frames and the die cuts. And, of course, we have all these beautiful little cards that come through. Some of the techniques we used today, we used on these as well. So you can have a lot of fun with this. This happens to be a slotted one where you have slots for all the different cards that come down here. So that was our June one. I just have to put my stuff back in here. Of course, I had to put it in backwards. And I used a lot of the different frames and die cuts and things that are in here. So these are just multiple slots, so different layered things. And of course, I had to put a little stamp on the back. So that is our June digital kit. If you haven't ordered them, now is the time to do it. Now, one other thing here. There we go. This is the book I have for you. And just put the banner down here. I'm getting better at this. All of the digital kits are awesome. Thank you so much, Stephanie. Thank you for the info. Now, stamps, dies. All you need to do is type that in. Now, the first thing is I'm going to ask you, I would like you to go there right now and grab this because I want to know if it absolutely downloads right away. I know it did for me, but I'm working on the system where I created it. So I have to know if anybody else has been able to download it. And I notice Alice is missing today. So go to it works, Sarah. Thank you. That's all I needed to know. I want to make sure that you get this. Now, this is great because I also put the information for the digital kits on the back if you don't have them. But, you know, there's all kinds of things inside this book. We have a glossary of terms as well. And then we have bonus practice pages. I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bonus projects to work on, plus the 3 projects. So there's 8 different projects that you can play around and use this. Okay, successful download. Absolutely fantastic. So any other questions? Great class. Thank you. Info. Always thanks for all of your work and ideas. It worked. Successful download. Okay, fantastic. Well, it is the top of the hour and I managed saying blocked. Okay, so it's blocked for something downloading automatically. So Tiffany, you may have to say keep or take your blocker off in order to get it. If you really, really, really have trouble, Tiffany, email admin@betsmakes.com and I will send you a copy because I know you're really having trouble with your system right too. Ruth, me too. Well, you still have to click keep for the download. Yes, and it's something coming off Amazon. This is the Amazon server where all of these are, so it is so secure. But sometimes you have these blockers. Comment success, so we know you got it. Good idea. I love you taking your time. You can go over anytime. Success. All right. So any last questions for Ledley or myself? All right. Don't forget, you do have to go ahead and register for our June workshop. Make sure you do. Once you have registered, it takes you off the list so you won't get the second and third and fourth emails that we send out. Really important to do that. Need to catch the replay from the beginning. Absolutely perfect. So enjoy your week, everyone, and I will see you on the 13th.